Brendan Gunn, welcome to the University of Huddersfield.
Thank you very much, it's good to be here.
You're here today to give the inaugural Babel Public Lecture, where you're going to be talking about the importance of linguistics in your work with actors.
That's right, yes.
Just tell us a little bit about the importance of linguistics.
At the most basic level, I deal with the phonetics of dialect, so that's the first thing I work on. So I find out about the consonants, vowels, the morphology of the dialect we're supposed to be using, and then I try to change the actor's hardware and using that software, if you want to use that analogy. And then we get into voice characterization, voice technique, which gets near the acting part of it, and then the actors and the directors take over.
And you were telling some of our students today that you're actually a rare beast in your industry, in that you're an academic originally, and you approach it from that point of view.
I was an academic linguist originally. A lot of my colleagues went to drama school and then did voice modules afterwards, or did the academic work afterwards, or increased their academic work in voice afterwards. But I came in the other route through theory, so I kind of have the theory in my head and I have to translate it into more general lay terms.
When you're coaching an actor to speak a particular accent, where do you start?
I start with the actor's voice.
Do you? With it, not the script then, and not the vowel sounds? Or?
No, if you start with the script it can get a little tired, so what I do is I start with the actor's voice and show them where we're going to go. And it's a bit like speech therapy, because you have a particular pattern of speech, you have a target, you're trying to get from that existing pattern of speech to the target.
So do they pick it up quickly? Does it depend how far they've got to go?
It depends how far they've got to go, it depends on the individuals, it depends on the amount of time they're allowed, because it varies from one production to another.
In terms of sort of when you first meet them to, what is the sort of duration time?
It's absolutely variable according to resources. It comes down to money, doesn't it?
I suppose it does, yes. And the actors got to do their homework as well.
They need to do some homework. Most actors are hard-working. Most successful actors are hard-working. They don't just arrive there. And most of them do their homework to the nth degree. Like risking life and limb sometimes to learn to hang, free base jump, hang glide, whatever. They do it, and then so I have the easier option to just get the voice in shape.
And do a lot of them take to it, or does it take a long time in some cases?
Well, we're usually hired when there's this kind of serious intention in the project, so the intention will be there from the start, so they will work. If they go to the trouble of getting a voice coach, they use us.
And do you find that some of the actors have already made a start? A bit like when you're learning to drive and you've been out with your dad, and they say, right, forget all that, now you need to start here, sort of thing. Do you find that happens as well?
Of course it happens, yeah. Some of them have started on a good path, so I just tweak it and make it sound better for them in terms of their characterization. Sometimes it's not quite on the nail, so we've got to come back to reverse. Do the 4-point turn, 3-point turn, or 2-point turn as it is now, and rejig it.
And do you watch from the wings as such?
On a film set, I have a set of headphones, I get a feed from the sound mixer, and I have what's called size, a reduced script, and I do my own phonetic transcription in the IPA system, and then translate that into what I want the actor to do. Often it's just saying your lower jaw a little more open.
So it can be as fundamental as that. So not always the sound that they make, but how they make that sound in terms of
it's the physiology of the sound. So
yes.
When you change the physiology, the sound's different. It's a different resonating chamber. So our job is to identify what the pattern is, teach the pattern to the actor, and maintain the consistency of that pattern, which is important as well, because we shoot a film over however long it takes. It ends up 90 minutes to 2 hours on screen, so that's 90 minutes to 2 hours of consistency we want.
What would you say is probably the most difficult accent to change to whatever?
Well, as professionals, we're not supposed to think one thing's more difficult than another. Sometimes sounds from other languages are difficult to change into the other language. If you're coming from another language into English, that can be different.
Because like in English, I'm assuming as in like your native island, you'll have dialects as well, won't you?
Huge amount of dialects, yeah.
You know, do you have to take that into account as well?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely about the dialect of the region, because that's important for the character. It's the character's backstory. If you're confident with the character's backstory and who they are, where they come from, then usually the performance flows much more easily. So that's the importance of it in that sense as well. So we do have to be au fait with our dialect. The script is really a blueprint that the architect, if you want to use that analogy, has drawn. The builders are the director and the crew on set, so there are little tweaks and changes made as we go along. Yeah, sometimes in a building you see a door that doesn't go anywhere. That can happen.
And away from work, is it like a busman's holiday? Do you listen to people? Do you listen to like the Yorkshireman in front of you and think, oh well, he's saying this way or whatever?
I've gone through that process many times, and it's nice to come to somewhere new and have a quick listen. But I've got over my social predatory, really. You know, I'm not as much as I used to be. You know, my phone's surreptitiously turned on. You know, sometimes I go, well, that's a good sound. I like that, and sometimes the grammar's different. I go, that's an interesting construction. Try and remember to jot it down, but try not to be rude.
The University of Huddersfield, inspiring tomorrow's professionals.